Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan, and whilst we're waiting for the embargoes to drop for Omens of Destruction, I wanted to get the What's Missing series out of the way, as, yeah, we've done it with the Ogres, it was well received. Let's talk about Khorne. Now, Khorne is, like the Ogres, functionally done. Very little things are actually missing for them, which I think is a great thing, considering the fact that they are a game-free race. Now, I don't expect any more DLC for Khorne, let's be very clear about that, but a free character every now and then, or if they end up doing character packs, that's one thing I really love to see Creative Assembly do. We could end up seeing another legendary lord, a legendary hero perhaps. There's a few things to talk about. But yeah, let's get started because there is a few things to talk about. So the first thing that we can talk about is literally the last missing unit, or unique unit better yet said, and that is the Chariot of Khorne. Bloodletters on a chariot pulled by juggernauts. This is something from 6th edition, from the Storm of Chaos, and a lot of people were expecting it because there was this very close leak for the DLC, and it did have that there. Hell, even I was expecting it too, considering that Creative Assembly like to go into the Storm of Chaos. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It could happen in the future for a free unit. I think that would actually be kind of nice for Creative Assembly to do. They've been doing free units every now and then, and also have it as a mount option too for the Bloodletters. Well, we've got a Lord version and a Hero version for the Bloodletters, so it could kind of be cool. But it's not an essential. That's why free unit works perfectly fine for here. Now, there are some missing units in terms of Warriors of Chaos stuff. Pretty much just Chaos Warrior variants and Chosen variants. I know some people think that it's not a good idea because the separation between Chaos Warriors of Khorne with Nurgle and so on, but I feel like everyone should eventually have all the variants. Literally, the bodies are there, the animations are done, they just have to switch the weapons. It's something that you can mod in, but I don't know, man, it might kind of work out. Extra units is always nice for everyone. And they could do that during patches just for fun, right? And like everyone could have their full variants. It does mean that you get a lot more of Warriors of Chaos, but I mean, who's going to complain, right? And from now on, we're just going into characters. There's literally not that much. What we're going to do is talk about the ones that either had models or there's enough lore justification to bring them in. The problem with Khorne, as you can imagine, is most of the legendary lords are going to be very samey. And whilst I'm talking about these characters, one might actually not be in the Khorne monogod, but might be kind of attached in a very similar way to how Valkyria works, right? She's not a monogod faction, but she kinda is. So let's talk about the first character, and this is Hargroth the Bloodied, a very old school Chaos Warrior, as you can see on screen. It was before the redesign of the Chaos Warriors. Oh my god, the old ones did not age very well. And even then, this isn't a real model, it's actually a kit bash model, an official kit bash from Games Workshop for the Storm of Chaos campaign, which I think used orc bits? Yeah. It did. But yeah, he was one of Archaon's lieutenants, so there was one for every god. Well, technically two for Tzeentch because there was a father and son combo. The father dies halfway. Spoilers for a 20-year-old campaign. But yeah, this is a Khorne dedicated character. He was a legendary hero in a sense. He fights with a hand weapon and a shield, so it makes him kind of defensive, but still very aggressive, because this is still a Khorne character after all. Now, Khorne does already have two legendary heroes or Omens of Destruction, but I could imagine that they could add in a third if they do this hypothetical end times DLC that we've been hearing rumors about. They'd probably want to go full ham, bring in all the lieutenants for nostalgia factor, because that would actually sell copies. Just those 4 lieutenants would already add a few extra copies being sold, and this would mean that you'd get access to them with any specific factions that can use the specific type. So Khorne, monogod Valkyria also, and maybe even if we end up with a monogod Norskin faction, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, that could end up having that legendary hero popping up in different locations. I could see this character being pretty much, you know, boosting up Chaos Warriors, or maybe even focusing heavily on the Marauders instead. He's not really got that much lore, most of it is just fluff from the Storm of Chaos campaign, but essentially, yeah, I could see this happening. I could see 5 legendary heroes being introduced during the end times, one for each of the god-touched lieutenants, and the other one being Khorne the Conqueror, and that means that Archaon has a lot more fun to play around with too. Eagle Steelbjorn didn't have a miniature, but he does have a lot of lore, and he's very much loved by the fanbase, but this is where things would divert. Like I said earlier in the video, this guy would not be for the monogod Khorne faction, but instead Norsca. So, he is the leader of the Scaling Tribe. It's a tribe that you guys are very much acquainted to in Total War Warhammer. It's the white ship on the blue background icon, usually at the point where Nordland is and so on. He's a big character because he's just known for being very destructive. He's also part of a very big novel with Bretonnia too. He's, yeah, additional hand weapons. He's got 2 cool axes, which are Garner and Gorner, and he's also wearing Chaos Armor. I think that we will see something like this. I don't know why, but I suspect that maybe Creative Assembly are going to do some God-touched characters for Norska in the future, because we have 2 undivided ones already, as it stands with Wulfric and Throg. Wulfric will likely be moved to Skeggi, and I could see Eagle being placed in Norska for a little bit of fun. This depends, however, if they do this Tribes of the North situation, but this is why I think of it this way. People want a big DLC like Champions of Chaos style for Norska, which would be the Dolgan, the Kurgan, the Norskans, and pretty much anyone else. But they could do it in a way of a few units per side and then a god-touched character. Eagle Styrbjorn being for Khorne in Norska. Then you could see someone like Sail the Faithless. This is a character which was introduced in the Tamilkhan series, being there for the Kurgans, but also for Tzeentch. Go into the lore, pick up a character for Nurgle somewhere else, and another one for Slaanesh, and yeah, that's 4 characters coming in, taking it up to 6 for Norska, with maybe a few different playstyles, very similar to what they did to Champions of Chaos, but a little bit stylized in different ways. Because nobody wants a complete copy-paste there, a few unique units per side, rather than just going 30 units, 30 units, 30 units, and 30 units, which are all recolors. I mean, that's if Creative Assembly ever decide to give us a Norska rework. They've mentioned it in a video recently, you know, the whole devblog thing. But I like to think that they're just, like, trying to push it back as far as they can. Because it's kind of funny that the ogres are getting a fix before Norska. But I do imagine that it's easier to come up with ideas for the ogres than it is for a faction, which, let's be honest, should have never really been a thing. Now, this video would have been done by now. However, the meme never dies because Kabanda is still theoretically possible. I know, you guys are sick about hearing of Kabanda, but let me justify it, right? Kabanda is mostly a 40k character, yes, and now appears in 30k also. But he also did appear during the end times as a character with lore, no miniatures, no rules, just literally exposition dumping, mostly, and just kind of just showing up for like 2 minutes. Well, throughout a few chapters, but you get what I mean. However, Creative Assembly have now made the Blood Speaker out of literally a half a sentence of lore. So if they're able to do that, Kabanda is very much possible. And I imagine that, yes, if an End Times DLC is happening, which, yeah, I think it's an educated guess, we'll likely get 1 new lord for the Monogod factions, or even the separate ones like maybe Norska or the Warriors of Chaos. Kabanda would be an interesting character. Not only does his miniature look absolutely amazing, this is the one that just came out I think last year or the year before that, still amazing, just Forge World resin, which is a pain. Now you're going to be wondering what makes Kabanda different to Skarbrand, because yes, it's another Bloodthirster lord. Well, first up, Kabanda can fly, Skarbrand can't. Not a big thing, I know, but Kabanda is also hyper intelligent, being like the prime bloodthirster for Khorne. He is above Skarbrand in rank and status, so what could be done here is focusing around bloodthirster armies, maybe even Kabanda having a certain mechanic allowing for your bloodletter lords to turn into bloodthirsters even quicker than getting the normal leveling route done. Hell, you know, in the tabletop there was different types of bloodletters of incessant rage and so on. Maybe he could have access to those, a specific lord option just for him. It'd be nice to have another bloodthirster, and I think a lot of people would kind of like a flying lord too. If Creative Assembly really want to pull out all the stops for the End Times DLC, if that is actually a thing that's happening, well, put in the Realms of Chaos, have Kabanda start in there with a teleport system to come out and invade from outside. It would be kind of cool. I think he would be a great character. At the end of the day, there's not a lot missing for Khorne. Khorne is probably one of the ones that can be considered the most complete at this point, thanks to Omens of Destruction. I want to do the video because then nobody can say, hey, you've missed this one. No, it's done. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not a lot of characters missing. If there's anything that I have missed, or you feel like certain lore mentions of characters would be better fits, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, have a great day, guys. It's one of those days where I've been running around like a psycho, so yeah. And before we end this video, just a quick heads up, it's the Black Friday sale for Instant Gaming, the company I've partnered up with for a while now. This isn't a sponsored post, but you can actually get pretty good deals. They've put in another one because they're doing new reveals every single day. So if you're looking for any games at a really discounted rate, now is the bit of the time to do so. The links are in the description. This isn't a sponsored post or anything, but, you know, Black Friday, great deals. I've been doing the same. I've been trying to find some Warhammer miniatures, so I've been taking advantage of any deals I can find everywhere. But yeah, have a great one, guys. See you soon.